Shirt Show. All right, let's go.
Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Talking shirt! Shirt Show! Shirt, man!
All right! Episode 164 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Nicole from Embellishr in Nevada. Let's go!
Hey, cutie. What's up?
Oh, geez. How goes it, man?
It goes, you know? It's another day. It's a new day at work. It's sunny out. It's wonderful.
You know, when you had your
Recharge.
hat off, I was thinking to myself, you need take the clippers to that shit.
I'm trying to grow it out a little bit, you know?
You're like a hippie.
Yeah. We didn't we have this talk about how last year was so stressful for me? I lost a bunch of hair.
Is it coming back?
Yeah, it's
Apparently.
all growing back in.
I like it.
I was fucking like straight up like I lost like these.
Do you have any grays yet?
Oh, I have so much gray. Yeah, I have like gray beard, gray chest hair, gray arm hair.
Feel that shit?
Yeah. You're a silver fox though.
I look a little flush. I'm just excited to see you.
I know,
Oh,
me too.
My
Yeah.
cheekies are a little red. You know, that's one of the side effects to steroids. So, you know, I'm getting jacked, taking the roids.
Just fucking write it out.
Mm-hmm. Check. Are we recording? Yeah. Okay. We got recording.
Yeah, the roids must make your nipples really hard. See them through your shirt.
Oh, you can a little bit.
Yeah, look at that.
Got the AC. Dude, is it 1,000 degrees there?
It was. I walked to get lunch today and I was really sweaty by the time I got back. So that's why I had my hat off. I was trying to, let the fan hit me a little bit.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. What'd you have for lunch?
Chicken salad.
Chicky salad.
Chicken salad, no bread.
High five up here. Up high, man.
All for you, bud.
Thank you. Yeah, because what does bread turn to?
My fat ass.
Were you listening? You weren't, because I told you you need to listen to me better, because that's my love language is you listening. I don't care about touching. I just want to be heard. And you said sugar just now, which you either got lucky that you got that right. Or
No, I remember. I listened to you.
Okay.
Whatever. I feel like I'm married all over again.
Good. Should be. This is a relationship. Two-way street.
Feels really one way. It feels like the Andy Boulevard.
Okay, well, you know what? Here's the thing. We had a conversation earlier when I first called you. I said, don't tell me about your life. For like one, because I don't care. And two,
right.
We're on an episode in a minute, and then save it for then.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were talking, I said, and by the way, when I tell my like heartfelt like stories about my life, don't look down at your phone.
They're just so boring.
Text messages of like, oh, what are we gonna, have for lunch kind of stuff. Like I'm pouring my heart out.
Okay.
Not boring. Oh, and your stories aren't always.
They're always boring.
You have great stories, but I guess it is that if I've heard them like 16 times, sometimes I check out a little bit, but I still listen because I know how important that is to you. What's your love language? A lot of things, like lots of touching, probably.
Touches, yeah, definitely. It's all the touches.
Yeah, I mean that is good.
All the touches.
Don't get me wrong. Anyway, so we have lots of work here in the shop, lots, and please tell me you got some stuff up there to do.
Yeah, it's getting busier. I noticed the last couple of days it's gotten some of our bigger accounts are hitting us up, which is really nice. But yeah, we've got a bunch of other stuff in place right now that I was telling you before, like Google ads and just website stuff that we've been working on. So I don't know. We'll see if it picks up.
Okay.
We also don't get any of that like seasonal school work. Like we don't do any of that shit. So.
Well, why not?
I don't really see that wave. And not really.
Why?
I don't know.
It fills
in. Seems like a pain in the ass.
Nope. No, it's not.
Okay.
So here's what you do.
Okay.
You go, most schools work on PO systems and you have to become an approved vendor. We've kind of talked about this before. So you go and you say, you call whatever school it is, Dillon High School. Whoa. And you say, hey, DHS, this is Dylan, crazy coincidence. Like, this is cool. I feel like we are off to a good start already. And you say, how do I get on your vendor? How do I become an approved vendor? That's what you say. And they say, oh, awesome. We were looking for another approved vendor. And you just fill out this form. And then boom. Then a teacher will call you and say, I need some shirts. Or
hey, we're at Dillon High School and your name is Dylan, so I want to order shirts from
you. Yeah, there should be. I hope there's a Dillon High School somewhere. I'd go to
I know how it works. I'm just saying that it just always seems like a fucking nightmare. It's always like,
why?
There's 35 people on our committee. Dude, we work for a couple schools and they're just like the local ones that we know people at. And that's the reason why we do it. The last fucking order I took from the school, they came in and paid like $2,000 in ones and quarters.
That spends.
Yeah, it spends at the strip club and fucking in socks to beat people with.
Okay, next we have, hey, did you know that yesterday I went down with Joe and we installed her art show?
Really?
Most of it, like not the whole thing. So we loaded in and we kind of laid out where all of, everything is going to hang because that has to be. So it has, she is in this lower level and there's escalators that go like this. And then there's another level and escalators go like this, and it's all atrium. So like if you're on the higher level escalators going down, you can look down and see it. And so we took escalators up and down, like looking, it's like, oh, how, like what paintings draw your eye? Like which one should we put where? So we were going, and the store wasn't open yet. We were going up and down escalators. And
did I tell you how me and Libby went to the mall on her birthday and I almost watched her eat shit hard on the escalator?
You mean fall far?
Yeah, it was scary, dude. I feel like I had one of those like fucking what is it called? Where like
intervention.
You get like a premonition kind of what's going to happen. And we were walking to the escalator and it was a down escalator. And I was like, I should go first because if she was to ever fall, like I would be in front of her.
Oh, it's good.
To catch her or whatever. So I get on the escalator and then literally she gets on, but she steps one foot on and left the other foot on the ground. So she just slowly started to do a split and I could see the fear in her eyes. Like, Dad, what do I do? And she had like both hands full of like, obviously all the shit I bought her for her birthday at the mall. And like, I was carrying shit too. So don't act like I fucking had my hands empty, but like, I instantly like jumped up a couple steps and was like getting ready to catch her. I was like, hon, you got to commit. Like you got to fucking, you can't do one foot and not the other. And yeah, she almost ate it. And it was a tall escalator too. So I was like, that was my biggest fear. And
with my back condition, I would make my kid go first to stop my fall. Like, at this point, like at some point you're protecting your kids and then it shifts and then they're like, hey, Dad, I got you, you're going to fall down the escalator.
All right. And we're going to have to wipe your ass when we get to the bottom.
That's right. So eventually, pretty soon, it flips over. But also, I think I can't remember if I mentioned this or not before, but she is on next week's Printavo Pod. They have Joanne Cool, which
it's been a while. She recorded a couple of weeks ago, didn't she?
She recorded a couple of weeks ago, and now it comes out. I think it's 20, whatever. Comes out whenever it comes out, but it's like in a few days.
Awesome.
And if you're curious, they pretty much had her on because they wanted to know what it's like to be married to the Andy Redman.
I can't wait to listen.
I thought for sure you'd have, I'll give you a minute. We'll pause here.
I know it's I know it's a living nightmare. I just, I want to hear it from her perspective.
Right. So yeah, this will be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good.
I called her beforehand and I was like, on the episode, tap your forehead 3 times and blink twice if you need rescue. So I bet the whole episode, she's just like,
because like we said, I have no idea why she's with me, but
yeah, You got lucky somehow.
I got really lucky.
Yeah. I mean, it's monthly payments, I think.
No. That sounds so horrible. Check this out. So you see this lanyard. I am in charge. We have so Dylan and I have Christina made it for us, like a Google spreadsheet doc thing. And it's has all of our, were you just looking down at your phone for a text?
No. You said you were in charge and my dick fluttered. I looked down.
This is recorded so we can roll it back and see what you just did. But we have, I'm in charge of lanyards and I ordered the lanyard. You see it right here. It's orange, for Short Show.
You knocked it out of the park.
And I thought, we have all these other lanyards from all these events we've been to, and most of them are plastic. And then most of them are in, not so much anymore, but like a trend years ago was to put it in the plastic sleeve, that's kind of gone away. And they print out this paper that's sort of polyvinyl coated somehow out of like a thermo machine or something.
Right. But we're all for the environment here.
We're all for the environment. And so guess what? We Martha Stewarted.
Craft paper.
And so, hold on. This is cardstock that we scrape screens with. So like when you're here and we're going to stamp it. So we ordered a stamp and I got these orange and black, baby, stamps for Shirt Show. And then it goes on here. And then if you're here or when you get back to the shop, you can detach it and use it to card some ink or just throw it in the air.
Obviously throw it in the garbage. Yeah.
And it's biodegradable.
You know what we should have done? We should have got the ones that were filled with seeds so they could have planted
They have the seed ones. Yeah, but we're too cheap. That would cost a lot of money.
Fucker. Yeah.
These were here. Okay.
Okay.
Next year. See, this is the first annual.
Right.
And we don't know what we're doing and we're working through it all.
Yeah. We got a lot of good ideas though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. And wait till you guys, should we talk about the surprise, surprise?
No.
Don't say it.
Don't. Sure. Do you have one?
No.
Oh, it would have been better if you had it on.
So maybe no.
No.
Sure? Because we can.
We'll do it after.
I was pointing to my wrist. So people are going to think like, what could it be? Apple Watches?
Did we not? Yeah, everyone gets an Apple Watch. You guys fucked up. We didn't come.
Right. There are a lot of giveaways though. Besides the swag bag that you get,
it's like years ago when you bought an iPhone and it was preloaded with U2's new album.
The intention was good. Like, hey guys, we're going to give you a free fucking album. Well, that's nice. Isn't that a nice gesture? That just goes to show you.
They're just forcing U2 on the rest of us. I was going to say that everyone gets an Apple Watch and it's fully loaded with all the Shirt Show episodes.
Don't talk shit on U2 because when I was a younger lad, I liked them. They used to.
I like you too. I'm just saying.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Daddy.
All right. Yeah, don't go there with that. They're okay. Bono.
Okay? Sure.
Yeah.
Frank.
It all starts with a screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com,
rank.com,
or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Dylan, cleaning screens is no fun, but Easy Way makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Yep. Check them out at easyway.com. Easy Way.
It's the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
By far.
If you or your art department could use some love, then you need to go to 1-900-HOTStuff.com and get in touch with Nick or Lucas.
Nick or Lucas.
At Graphic Source and let them run your art department.
Yep.
So you can focus on running your business. I got it right this time.
Good job.
Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids and contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you want and also
need.
So look, we have partnered with Howard Custom Transfers to get you the transfers you need fast. Check them out at howardct.com.
Yes.
They'll also be here next 2 Fridays from now.
Fuck yeah. Stoked on that.
And they will be live transferring a hat,
and a
tote,
and then whatever the hell else they want.
Booty shorts, maybe. So look, if you're going to be feeling like a complete loser when you don't get some of those booty shorts.
Dude, there's going to be so much fucking thick ass hanging out. Like 3 C's.
Yeah, we ordered all extra smalls, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah, because I want my Hank Hill little fat ass triangle to hang out the bottom.
So
just
great.
Like flapping in the breeze on the side, and then just near the middle is just like this little chubby little cheek triangle.
Right. When you get to camp and that happens, you're like, all right, I'm good.
I'm here. Yeah, I've arrived.
I knew I did the right thing. I knew this was going to be worth it.
Right.
You know, we'll know that right when that goes down.
Hey. What do we have on today, bud?
Today, we are chatting with Nicole Pape from Embellishr, which is located in, I honestly don't know, USA.
Perfect. Flawless. And there she is.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm sorry. I was sitting in the tech check recording for the last 10 minutes and I just figured that out.
That's okay. We had a nice long discussion about feelings and sugar.
Oh, okay. Both I kind of like. So
yeah.
Good discussion.
We were talking about that song, that Pour Some Sugar on Me song. And Andy was saying that he likes his hot and I like mine cold.
Okay. You guys are complete opposites. I see that why this works so well, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Less sticky.
I love it.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Not much. It's a Wednesday and it's busy as shit. And I appreciate you guys taking out time of your day. Just same here. And
yeah, we have nothing going on. We're not busy. We're not busy people.
I didn't think so. Right. No, I just see you guys on TV. It seems like all the time. I'll call it TV, Instagram, our TV.
Yeah. What are you busy with these days? I mean, I know you're doing a little of everything, but what's keeping you busy all day?
Yeah, I'm busy with a ton, actually. I guess what's keeping me busy is slinging pre-owned equipment. You know, that's something that, as you know, I've become Embellishr. I've created Embellishr to do such a thing. So yeah, between trucks going in, trucks coming out, figuring out teardowns with technicians across the country, figuring out equipment that's sitting in Guatemala, Mexico, how I manipulate, move that stuff, refurbish what I can. It seems like no matter what, there's something constantly moving. So
there's way more involved in that than I thought. Like, I don't know. I think I was just naive in the thought of like, you were just like a middleman between someone wants to sell some shit and then you just like help them sell it. And then like they were in charge of shipping it and everything, but you're literally handling the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I really try and give my clients, give anyone that works with me, like a full scale process. You know, I've been in this industry for years, and I think that a lot of the industry has either lacked professionalism in one way or has been too corporate in another way. And so I'm kind of trying to bridge the gap there, because I do find myself to be chill, but I'm also kind of psycho in the way that I'm like an urgent needing things to happen. Like I will make it happen kind of person. But I mean, between running people's appraisals on their equipment, you know, kind of diagnosing where their equipment stands in terms of condition, valuation, impressions, and then, you know, going from there to strategic marketing, trying to procure top dollar buyers. And then I work on paying off people's liens. I work with all the financiers and banks. And then I'm working with all contract technicians across the US to help me, you know, go into shops and do the diagnostics of the equipment, make sure it's in the condition, the working condition that we are representing and saying we are. And then perform teardown, crating, and get you a freight truck at your dock. So all you got to do is roll up the dock door and we'll do the rest.
That's awesome. So if I was to come to you tomorrow and say, hey, I want to sell all my equipment, what would that process look like?
I'm sure, in terms of that process, you would just be reaching out to me, and I'm going to set you up with our full sales process. It's an overview of what I just basically said, the appraisals and everything, but I'm going to give you the requirements that I need to run that appraisal. So you're going to fill out a pre-owned checklist with us. It goes over everything like your company name, address, do you have a lien on it? How much is your lien? And then equipment specs all the way down. So if you got a press, let's say it's just a Rock U 6-color 10 station, all of that stuff you're filling out along with serials, press print area. I know diameters. I know a lot of this stuff, but I still want the clients to give me the information because, sometimes people modify stuff like a chop shop, which has been interesting to also see on this side of the world.
How do you gauge like how much it's been used or beat or, if it's actually in good condition? So everyone likes to say like it's in good condition or great condition.
Oh my God, I want,
But all the lines are full of moisture and it's been run 24/7 and everything.
So I sold the press in, maybe it was 2 years ago. And the way I did it was, the broker I used didn't purchase it from me. They were sort of the middle person. And so they found somebody and there was like this finder's fee. I can't remember, maybe it was 10% or 20%. But what they asked for was a video of it running, so we ran it for 5 minutes, printed a job and just showed that it was in good working condition. And then when the tech came to tear it down and crate it right before that, and they also did a visual here, like, okay, yeah, it's working. And so I don't know, is that how you run things? And do you or do you like if Dylan is selling all of his equipment, do you buy it, bring it in house, and refurb it, or are you the middle person on that purchase?
I'm a broker. Straight up, I'm a broker. So what I do is exactly like you said, I'm going to ask or I'm going to request out of you, Dylan, a video, 1 minute video at least of dry operations. So no screens, no flood bars, no squeegees on press. I want all print heads running and I want the press indexing for a solid minute. I want the video to be in the same spot so I can see everything. And then you can start moving around after that minute. But I want to verify that everything is in good working order. And, there's times that I can see like, oh, okay, I'm going to need to replace an airline. I'm going to need to probably add a chopper over there or something like that. And that's okay. Those are really minimal pieces of the puzzle of somebody getting a brand new pre-owned something that's going to help their business. Right. So, when I have a technician that actually goes in for the teardown on the video that you sent, they're going to verify that press prior to teardown. And they're also going to give me a list of all of the potential parts that are needed on the install side. Mm. So then I purchase all of those parts on my behalf, and Embellishr covers that. And that will marry or meet with the install wherever the install is happening. So the technician has what they need to make sure that the press can operate in good working order. And that way I can provide a true service to someone that's buying the machine. I do have a warranty, but I'm selective on the warranty process. It's a 60-day warranty that I'll do on parts, but I'm selective for a good reason. Again, like you mentioned, maybe there's water in the lines. I've dealt with a couple people. They're like, oh, my chiller, it's been down for a couple weeks. That's not great. That's not good news for anybody. I don't necessarily want to represent that, but I also know the parts and the pieces that could just get plugged into the press, could get drained, could get dried out, and you have the right stuff to get the press up and running. Now, if the press is seized, I'm not even going to handle it. I've had people that send me videos that I just saw one yesterday, and I'm like, I think out of the 12 print heads, there's probably 3 good print heads. And yeah, it's a really expensive press. And yes, it could be a great flip. I don't want to deal with it.
Right. It's a big can of worms.
Right. It's your reputation. Yeah. And so you want to be able to be known as selling like a press that works. And so is it sort of like, you said you warranty it for 60 days. So is it like if you were to buy a pre-owned car, like is it a certified pre-owned, situation?
It's kind of like a certified pre-owned. Yeah. Like I'm guaranteeing that if there's any issues in those 60 days, I'm going to handle it. I'm not going to handle it in terms of like paying for techs and travel and stuff like that. But I am going to handle it in terms of getting you the parts that you need. And I also put people in touch with technicians. I will run techs through the sales process if needed, if it helps somebody on their loan with like a financier, like no problem. I can get you the right tech. I can get the right, numbers out of them, and then I can pay the tech. Cause sometimes that's just easier to kind of package all that up together. But past that, the 60-day warranty is really, I can't warranty presses that are like let's just call it like pre-2017 in a way. I will still do my normal process of, if there's any equipment that I need to purchase upon teardown, I'll still do that. And I'll still make sure it marries with the install team, but I'm not going to warranty it in case you're buying something used. So there's only so much I can do without actually refurbishing it myself. I'm sorry if you can hear my husband in the background. He has another office back there.
No, I can't hear. It's not picking it up. But great. Dylan and I are the same way. So we've sold equipment direct, not through a broker. Both Dylan and I, and when
it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
I never want to do it ever again.
I know. You don't like it, really?
Honestly, I think if we did it every day, then you become used to it and you get better at it. But what the point I was going to make is that for example, when I sold a manual press, a couple of the springs were broken on the up down, and like I replaced them. I didn't just ship it like that. You know what I mean? Because I want them.
That's really nice of you. Like that's nice. That's a good. You have integrity, Andy.
Yeah, that's the person. And that's the discussion that we had too, is like, I'm going to switch to the laser and I have the eye image. But the thing is like the eye image is like 92% good right now. But I feel like I would still pay an M&R tech to come out and like make it 100% before I sold it. Cause I can't in good conscience, like sell that to somebody and be like, hey, I know you're like just getting an eye image for the first time or whatever. Here's a can of worms. Like it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. Like you can't do this, you can't do this. But like, I would rather just be like, hey, this is, and I fucking, from the discussion, like I've replaced almost every part in it, but it needs calibrating. It needs someone to come here and like just tweak a couple things and make sure it's 100%. But I can't sell it as is right now. Like I have to make sure it's good.
I wouldn't sell it as honestly, I don't represent CTS, and I try not to represent CTS and LTS on the used side. It's too finicky, to be honest with you. It is really finicky. You don't know what conditions. There's a lot of climate control that's involved there, right? You got clogged nozzles. The nozzle may be good when you ship it out. All of a sudden it goes into somebody's shop and now they've got a $5,000 nozzle they got to replace. So, the fact that you're willing to do that part is, I'd buy the eye image from you, but most people wouldn't do that. Yeah. Dylan, they're not going to go that extra step. They're going to say, I've got an eye image that's worked great for us. We want $25,000 for it, or whatever it is that they want. And I've just kind of like learned in a short time frame that those are not things that, unless it's like a really big shop and it's really well maintained, that I really want to put my name on. Like I do have a Saudi LTS right now that I am putting my name on, but it's 1 year old and the shop is completely leaving the United States and going international. So they're getting all new equipment internationally. So
the good thing is
great.
The good thing is peace of mind. If somebody orders something from you, that they know that it's got a little bit of a warranty if it's a newer piece of equipment, but also you guys are checking this out. Techs are taking it apart. It's not Joe Schmo taking it apart and throwing it in a random crate. Like you're doing everything right. So that's the thing is that's sketchy to me is buying used equipment is there's no warranty. There's no nothing. It's like a Craigslist deal. Like, hey, show up with cash. And then you take it and get it back and find out like you bought something from Shirt Kong and it's missing 35 springs and it's falling apart, has no registration.
I only do that when I sell stuff to you. We all know this.
Dude, I've bought multiple
Don't
things
tell
from
your
Andy.
Secret, Andy.
I bought multiple things from Andy and they're always fucked up. And that's no exaggeration.
So if Shirt Kong comes to me, I'm gonna send a different tech in. Okay, I get it.
It's not that his intentions are bad. He supposedly sends me the correct amount of things. But when I get it, it's always missing something.
So it's like an IKEA package.
Yes, it's missing something. But yeah, I've had nightmares. I sold a dryer. I sold an old Sprint, and it was a whole thing of like, again, like I feel like I want to make sure it's as good as it can be before it goes to the person. So like I gutted it, I cleaned it, I wiped it down. I did everything I possibly could. I'm not a pro at creating anything, so I put it on like really good heavy pallets. I don't know. I tried to secure it as good as possible, but then the purchaser, I said, you're in charge of the freight, basically. Like you're in charge of getting a truck here, however you want to do the insurance, whatever. I literally just load it onto the truck, call it good. So I got like a forklift, put it on the truck, but the forklift that we had extensions because it's like a large center section of the dryer, put it on. So they chose to go, I think, the cheapest possible shipping they could get, which was like FedEx Freight or something. And I think when FedEx Freight took it to the next place to load it onto another truck, they just didn't have fork extensions, and they pulled it off the truck and just dropped it, and it crushed it, caved everything in.
Okay,
totally
so
fucked.
That kind of stuff can happen to you, but when I ship it, when the same thing happens when I ship something to you, it's like my fault. It's my fault. So
100%.
Okay, I see how this is going. All right, so I'm just saying in that instance with you, what do you do? Like this dryer's fucked. Like it's garbage at this point.
First of all, I'm having technicians load their stuff. Unless there's some extra circumstance where the tech needs to leave and the owner, there's been a couple circumstances where I have had owners actually loading. That being said, I send really specific instructions on everything. I'm a little bit of an overkiller. So you're going to get a PDF the second that we've sold your equipment on, cleaning your equipment, paying off the liens, and then also the forklift that you need to load it. And then same thing on the receiving side. You're required to have a forklift to unload, 5,000 pound rated with 6-foot fork extensions. I will give you a notice of the truck coming, but you know how it goes in transit. Like I have zero control in the transit world, actually. So I insure everything. Everything is doubly insured that I put on a truck too.
See, that's the answer I needed right there. To say it's insured. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've had an accident, and it's not fun. It's not pretty.
It's not fun. And then filing claims is miserable. Like we've been through, we're in fact going through it now.
Hell. I'm going through it right now too. I'm yelling, screaming. I'm being nice. I'm like, do I make cupcakes? Like, do I bake something for their children? What do I do to get the friggin' money out of you? Because this has been going on for 70 something days now.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. One of the things that I sent Dylan that was damaged, they damaged some ink in transit. They called us and said, hey, by the way, we damaged some ink in transit. It's like, okay, well, thanks for letting us know. They needed PDFs on the chemicals that it was, you know what I mean? To see, to know what it was inside. And so we sent it to him, and then we said, oh yeah, so we're going to file a claim because you damaged some ink. And they said, the claims person said, oh, that didn't happen. In fact, which is hilarious because they called you and said, hey, they called us. Fucking 5 and all this other shit like here. The dude said, oh no, Upstate Merch signed for it. We're good. And that was their defense.
They're the best. I'm going to call, I've dealt with truck drivers as you guys have for years. Some of them are nice and you're like pleasantly surprised, but most of them aren't. And they have a mind of their own. Even if the freight company is a great, reputable freight company, the drivers themselves are a unknown variable. I paid for a semi, it's like a 40-footer to go dedicated. So ride to load means it goes from point A to point Z. And point A was Texas, point Z was Rhode Island. It's not supposed to come off the truck. Shit's loaded. Keep it there. Go all the way.
Right.
Well, I get a notification. Truck's broken down, Tennessee. I'm like, okay. They're like, it's about 24 hours behind now. I'm like, okay. They're fixing it. It's good. And they're like, everything's fine. Sure. Okay. Not really thinking too much of it. This happens. And truck shows up at my client, and I've never seen anything like it. It looks like a friggin' hurricane took the trailer and just like rolled the trailer with a brand new press on it, compressor, just a lot of things, a lot of very expensive things. And so I go to tell them like immediately, like obviously there's this damage, and the truck driver is like, there's nothing damaged. There's absolutely nothing damaged. I see nothing wrong here. There's a compressor sitting on top of a press. Press is on its side. Like everything was just like completely backwards. And then thankfully, when you're loading, if you're the client or you're the technician, I require you signing that BOL, and you got to send me pictures of the loaded.
I was going to say a picture would be great. Yeah. That's kind of what saved me with the dryer is I took a bunch of pictures. Like
the insurance company, you have to cover your ass.
Yeah. The insurance company was like, this had to have looked like this before we got it. There's no way. I was like, dude, I have pictures, and I didn't take pictures thinking, oh, I need this for insurance. I just took pictures to be like, to send the guy that I sold it to be like, hey, it's crated up.
It's on its way.
It's shipping today.
This is how you're going to unload it. Yeah. Right. Like, and so I do that same thing. And luckily in that picture is a picture of when it was loaded, and the license plate of that trailer is a different license plate than the trailer that showed up. So then I'm able to prove that they took all of our equipment off, moved it onto another trailer. So they've approved our claim, but now it's the payment process of purgatory.
They'll drag that out for forever.
Holy shit. Yeah. And I mean, legally, they can drag it out for 120 days. That is not the best customer service, especially when you're a new business like me. So luckily I have like some seriously freaking awesome customers that have been nothing but like grateful and kind to me. And I've done everything to rebuild their press. Their press is running, rebuilt. They're producing every day. I mean, at this point, they're just hoping for the check to come any day now, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, in this world, especially when you're moving things that aren't brand new, it seems like there's less care involved, and I'm trying to put more care into that process.
Yeah. So step back for a minute. How did you get involved in this industry, and how did you get to be so knowledgeable on everything that you're putting in place for Embellishr?
So it was an accident, me getting into the industry. I was a bartender in San Diego on the beach. I was going to UCSD. I was an art major. I was taking forever to get through school. I think my dad was going to kill me. And my roommate worked at this company called Uniforms Express, which happened to be a major affiliate of Reebok down in Chula Vista area of San Diego. So I go to work there, and they put me in customer service, and some guy had called. It was like a university. We were servicing like university uniforms for football, soccer teams, things like that. And calls into the customer service and was like, you ruined my uniform. And I remember I was like 20. We were 19. And the guy, when he said, you ruined my uniform, my response back that was being recorded was, sir, I didn't ruin your uniform. Don't come at me like that, or something basically like just not like I wasn't about to take anything.
Like sassy.
And
perfect customer service, right?
Not good customer service. No, they did not think it was good customer service. So that was my first. So then they were like, Nicole, we really like you. Like, weirdly, we like you. You know, you're not good for customer service though. Is there another place here that you would like? And I was like, well, I have been seeing these really cute guys in this warehouse on part of the campus down the way. They have this thing that's spinning around, and there's like all of this stuff everywhere. And it's like, looks like paint. And I remember like telling them it looked like paint, because that was a big deal. Because like, God forbid you say that, which I mean, I will smack your hand if you say it. But so they moved me into screen printing, and I started reclaiming screens every day for 8 months solid. I was using Citra paste, massaging it on, had my old headphones on with my iPod and the thing, and, you know, just Citra pasting everything all day long, dehazing. And then they asked me if I wanted to take a stab at printing, because I was always really interested in it and I wanted to learn and ask a lot of questions. And so they got me a milk crate, and they threw me on a press. And so I kind of fell in love right there, actually. And I really learned a lot in that department. I learned a lot about tackle twill, dye houses, vinyl, you name it. We were shipping goods to Mexico, to Rosarito every single morning. And they were coming back at the end of the day. So I was learning, like, I had no clue that apparel functioned like this at that point in my life. My whole goal was to get, you know, more ambulance chaser shots to the guys at night so I can get more money, tip money kind of thing. And so I ended up kind of moving to Los Angeles and leaving San Diego because I was a perma stoner on the beach. And I ended up going to UCLA to finish up my degree. I transferred from UCSC to UCLA. And during that time, I said, I think I'm going to open a screen printing boutique. And I think I'm going to do like a little Riley Hopkins. And so I searched Craigslist and I found myself some used equipment. And that was my first start into used equipment. And I think it was 22. And I got a loft in downtown LA, started printing in my loft. And I had I think it was like a 900 square foot loft or something like that. Anyways, I started kind of growing out of that pretty quick. I was doing live screen printing at art walks in downtown LA and found myself kind of getting more and more clientele. My company was called Production 22. So what was weird is in Los Angeles, and this is only, I think, a thing in LA, if you're named Production, which I would think is like a manufacturing or screen or whatever, it's not like that in LA. If you have the name Production in your title at all, you are in the film industry. I had so many people calling me for like camera equipment and shit when I was like, I don't sell cameras, I sell t-shirts. Oh, really? We need t-shirts too. Great.
So you had a weird in that you weren't expecting.
I had HBO, I had Playboy. I was doing like actual, for the Playboy magazine, like single one-off pieces in my loft, printing them and then delivering them and like standing there like, wow, these women are great. Like, holy crap. And then I went to a art walk one night and Ryanette showed up. And at that point I was enamored with Ryan Moore. It was like 2010, I believe, at that point. And they were impressed with what I did. I had built 2 presses myself, 2 presses out of wood and vices. I took them to this art walk. I'd have 4 different designs on each press.
So these were your live print setups.
Yeah, and I would let people screen print. I would teach them how to screen print. I wasn't the one printing. I threw an apron on you. I called it DIY or pulled DIY. That's what I call my little live thing.
Right.
And so they were just impressed that I was like showing people how to print, and they invited me to ISS Long Beach that year to meet up with them. And so I met up with them. Next thing you know, I end up being their branch manager in LA. And so I did that for like a year. I trained screen printers in manual screen printing. Every 2 weeks, at least 40 screen printers came in and we did 2-day courses on it. So that was really cool because it gave me like a purpose, and an avenue in this industry where I felt like, oh, what I'm like doing and what I kind of figured out in my little loft is like other people are like asking me about now, you know?
Right.
And I thought that was so cool. And then I trained this porn star and she walked in at Ryanette and she wanted to learn how to screen print. And instead of learning, she hired me on the spot cash and I left Ryanette. And so I ended up going to work for this porn star in LA for a while and I was building her brand. And let me tell you something about printing sim process on the little lady bits. It is a very interesting eye loop process. It is like, I think this looks right. Can you verify this looks like you? So did that. And then that got weird. Actually, it got weird to like a degree of like, if I keep working for her and I see the amount of money she's making and all of these things that are happening in her life, it was like really easy kind of like, it's too easy. I feel like in that area of LA that you could just kind of venture into that industry somehow, like fully. Yeah. That's not what I was trying to do. I was already with my husband at the time. Him and I grew up next door to each other since we were 2. So he's been around me forever, I feel like. And so I left that and I reopened my shop and did that for just a tiny bit. It did really well and I flipped it. I sold it for double what it was worth and got offered a job in downtown LA at Majestic. And so I worked with the MLB for a while. And that was like 2014 that I did that. And from there, I got pulled into a very large contract operation in the Bay Area called Blue Frog, where I became an actual co-owner of that company. So that's kind of like my whole trajectory from where I started to.
There was a lot of ins and outs of like different industry things. Like
great experiences, though, to build on and become where you're at now. And so is that where, because we jokingly, we don't know where you're located. And so we guessed, or we just said somewhere in the USA, but where are you? Are you still in California?
No, I'm Cali born and raised, but I live in Reno, Nevada now. So I've lived in Reno since I opened a second facility for Blue Frog in 2017. We moved out here we took out about 10 employees with us out here to kind of venture out east. Being in the San Francisco Bay Area is not only extremely, extremely expensive to operate, but there was a lot of stipulations that started to go on with staffing. Nothing which I thought was bad. It was just staffing was going up like increasingly amount. Like, you're paying a catcher $20 an hour. How sustainable is that? And so we tried to start looking into like, what are the ways that we can grow sustainably? And the thought process was we need to move somewhere that is more advantageous for corporations, there's no state income tax here. There's a lot of advantages for corporations to move here. That's why there's Tesla here. They're building the Google campus over the hill from my house right now. You've got really, really big companies. I mean, I have Sanmar's in my backyard, S&S is in my backyard, Uline's right here. They're all within 5 minutes of my house. And so it's become kind of a hub. That being said, it was really small when I moved here in 2017, and there wasn't a whole lot of labor to pull from. So that was a whole nother challenge that we actually didn't anticipate and didn't think through very well when we had made that transition. But that being said, once I moved on from Blue Frog, I could have gone anywhere. Could have gone back home to LA. But honestly, like, we're on 2 acres here. I'm leveraging my property as we speak right now. My whole office is a container that we've retrofitted into 2 offices, and it's on my property. So
cool.
I don't have to go too far. Yeah. And really, like, Reno's been great. It's been growing, tons of nightlife here, but I'm 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe. Like, there's a lot of good advantages. Now, do I miss LA? Yes. Do I miss being in the traffic? Absolutely. I don't know why. But there's something about like mobbing around in traffic I totally miss.
What's the climate like in Reno?
Right now it's a super dry heat. So the middle of summer, like, it's been hitting like 100. This week it's like in the 90s dry. And then winter, we just had a crazy winter, about 4 feet of snow at my front door this winter. And then Tahoe got like 18 feet of snow. So the snow, I can't complain about snow. I was in Minnesota last week and I heard all the stories. I was like, I don't think I can ever talk about snow again. But moving from California to snow is like, yeah, I just didn't. It's cool, I guess. I don't know, shoveling.
You get a little bit more seasons, it sounds like, because California, some parts of California, you don't get any seasons, like San Diego. It's beautiful every day or whatever. But I would miss the seasonal changes, but I just wish they were shorter. And also, you said dry heat. That sounds really great. By the way, I had to walk away a minute ago because I've got to tell you this. So there's a Girl Scout troop touring our shop today, and I look up on the cameras, and there's 3 of them laying on our dryer belt, and I'm like, well, they're gonna die. So I go out there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, whoa, time out. I was like, Dad, all of a sudden.
Who was Kyle helping them on, or what was happening?
He's like, here, hop up. We'll take a ride.
Oh my God. I mean, it's kind of cute, but yeah, good. Yeah, that's an HR problem waiting to happen.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. So Yeah, I rescued them, and no lawsuits, I don't think. So I have a question. This is totally unrelated, but did you guys take your vitamins today?
Oh,
yes.
No, I took blueberries. Does that count as vitamins?
Andy has such a health kick right now. He likes
blueberries are great, but
okay, I haven't been drinking. Vitamins. Okay, you need like real vitamins. Okay, so
those are all gas station boner pills. Every single one.
Off. No way. They're huge. Those things are huge.
I did a fish oil today. I did just a multivitamin for, like senior citizens. I did a.
Well, you are one of those, right?
Exactly. Turmeric.
Okay.
For,
Turmeric's good.
I almost said inflation, but, inflammation. It also helps with inflation. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great.
What else do I take, Dylan? Because what did you take?
I take magnesium, vitamin C, and then a multivitamin. And I've been drinking Kachava for breakfast, which has like a bunch of that superfood shit in it.
What is that?
I feel like
it's like athletic. It's like athletic greens, but it's not green and doesn't taste terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'll get on the vitamin kick. I mean, it's time, I think. I work out. I wake up at 5. I work out. I go for a walk. I drink some black coffee, and I usually eat like some blueberries or something. And then I don't eat again until like late night. I'm pretty terrible about that, actually. So vitamins is probably really helpful at this age.
Those are some good things, but I mean, like most of our diet, we're missing. We need to supplement. We're missing some things, especially what Dylan said, magnesium. Why are you laughing? It's true.
I'm laughing at this sidebar. We went from fucking printing to let's talk about our vitamins.
It's important stuff. All of this is important.
Well, that's why he's glowing. Don't you see the glow on his face?
I fucking told him he's straight up like a freak of nature. Like you're drinking fucking stem cells for breakfast, I think.
The glow is this is no joke. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I got an epidural steroid cortisone injection into my spine yesterday at 3 p.m. And one of the side effects is a flush. And you can I was tasking Dylan earlier. It's like, hey, is my face a little like red because I'm getting a little bit of that red flush? Yeah. So I've got that because of inflammation, and so they go in and they inject I have a bad disc, and so they went in there to try and, alleviate some inflammation, which is causing a bunch of pain. But the glow is not, I wish it were because of vitamins and like things like that. But I think I'm starting to have some allergic reactions.
You got pumped full of steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. They even asked me to come in and take that shot. I actually tore my piriformis muscle in the bottom of my back, and I have been struggling to sit to do like normal activities. Like my workout level has like drastically changed in the last year since this injury. So it's been like, honestly, it's been kind of like hard on my mental health too, because I got like depressed for a little bit.
1,000%.
I wasn't able to do a lot of things. And like my 6-year-old is like, I mean, I'm 4'11", so he's like here on me, but still wants mama to pick him up and stuff. And it's like, I can hardly do normal things, but I can't look like that. Like, I feel like I have to always present myself a certain way, especially with a new business and everything. But I mean, if I'm not on this, I'm like no makeup, sweats, and like I've got like a pillow under my back because I can't deal.
Has it affected your sleep at all?
Yeah. 1,000,000%. It's affected everything about my like mood, my life, my sleep. I've had tons of MRIs, CAT scans. My next step is all of the epidural shots. It's just a road I didn't want to go down, but
honestly, I was scared. And then I found a board certified orthopedic surgeon. He had great reviews, and I went in yesterday like a baby, and I told Joanne she had to come there with me, and they wouldn't let her back, though. I went back by myself for the whole thing. But I just wanted her there because, well, it's scary. Like the thought of that they're going to go to your spine and in your spine, and then he actually bounces the needle off the bone a little, which, by the way, your bone has nerve endings, even though it's numbed. He bounced because he wants to guide it in a certain way. But we'll see. Like, I hope, I'm confident that it's going to give me a little relief. I just don't know how much and for how long, but I'm really stoked to see how it turns out. But the piriformis,
let me know.
Yeah, I will. I think that the thing is like, it's really common. They've done it for 50 years and they do it. Like, this guy does it on Tuesdays. He's a surgeon otherwise, but he does this.
He makes pizzas every other day of the week, but
yeah, I thought it was weird.
Babies, I'm thinking, but
he was doing it in a van, which I thought was kind of weird. Right. But no, it was
in Mexico.
I think this is going to work out. I really do. It was the next step anyway before what you're supposed to do before surgery. So I had this thing I wanted to share, and that is, also ask a question like, when is the last time that you at your shop or at your business had like the perfect day? From like the time you woke up and got there, like everything went right, and then there's the end of the day, and then you went home and things still went right.
Are you talking about like Embellishr or like in a screen print shop in format?
Let's say Embellishr.
Yeah, let's say that.
When things went right. I don't know. I think it would scare me if things just went right, like every day, you know? I think I wake up anticipating maybe not like the worst. I'm not like I think everything, but I have so much on my mind that I think I probably make it hard for me to enjoy a lot of things, to be honest with you. And I'm my own like worst enemy there. But everything going right would be when I decided to start Embellishr, when I felt a ton of support from people that said that they were going to support me. When I would wake up and I saw my son and I wasn't like traveling as a traveling salesperson for a manufacturer, all of a sudden I'm home for myself and I'm dealing with clients that I want to deal with, and I'm doing things that make me feel empowered and alive. I'm terrible at picking out my wins. I think a lot of people are, it's just like, I roll to the next day. I just keep going the next day. And sometimes I need to like stop and look back. And I did this yesterday actually. And I was like, damn, I mean, I've been doing this business since December. I've done pretty damn well since December, and I've learned a lot, and I've had a lot of bad days, but I've had a lot of good days. And I'm not going to stop. And I learn something new every day. So that's a hard question for me to answer on Embellishr. If you talk to me about like screen print, a good day is when you walk in at 5 o'clock in the morning and all the presses are already on, which normally never happens. You find employees in the break room instead of on press or something. But a good day is when the team comes together. When you feel like everybody's working for the same common goal. I remember that as a true feeling and a true success moment in just my career over time of, we were printers for the Golden State Warriors, and we'd print 22,836 shirts. I remember the exact amount every 72 hours with 3 print locations. That is a fucking feat to do with 3 print locations with multiple like shifts a day. People coming in and out, they're sick, they're this, they're that. You've got pullers on every press. I mean, it's hot. It's the middle of summer sometimes when this stuff's happening. And it's like, but when you get everything palletized and you're loading it on the truck and it's like the last moment, it's like, fuck, I want a beer. This was a great day. Yeah.
I don't know what a perfect day looks like. Like, I don't even know what it would be. Like, I really don't.
Remember, I say I guess to qualify this a little further, and that is something can go wrong, but you fixed it. You overcame it. It's not like nothing can go wrong. It's just that, hey, this happened, but we won in the end, that day.
Yeah, I would say that's most days. I would say that I feel like here we're pretty good at problem solving. And I think that's just the day. I think that's every day. Like, I don't think there's a day when everything is just like perfect. There's not a single, like, we have to troubleshoot this or figure this out, because every job's a custom job. You know what I mean? It's not,
there's so many variables.
Yeah. It's not strict manufacturing where it's like, we're making the same part and piece every single day. Like we're making every job, we're making tweaks, decisions on colors or this or that, or pressures or whatever. And it's like, you know, usually a couple people get together and are like, oh, this is how we can fix this. And then we do it. And then it, you know, not necessarily fix, but these are the tweaks we need to make this correct or look right or whatever. And I think that's a good day. I think a good day is me at my desk and, you know, I get my inbox emptied would be fucking glorious. And then, you know, all the jobs that got printed are done and out the door. You know what I mean? That would be a perfect day for me. What was your perfect day? Because I know you're fucking chomping at the bit over there to tell me your glorious perfect day where you won the lottery and no one quit. I think a perfect day at Shirkong is when nobody quits.
So
retention's low.
So you're right. Like most days are good, you know, just like you described, you know, things happen at the shop and then you fix them and then, you know, you go to the next order. But what I mean more specifically is that we just had this perfect day here last Friday. And I mean, beginning with the drive here to the shop, the traffic was light. I had a good night's sleep. My pain level, whole day, my pain level was low. We had things that were due. We got 2 UPS trucks that day, and we had to have some of the things on them, and they showed up because there's some days we're like, well, crap, it's sorry, it's not coming today, it's coming the next day. But those things showed up, and then check this out. So we were running an 8 or a 9 color, and it was a distressed print, and it was. On one of the colors, the squeegee was chopping down too high. They didn't move their procs just a little bit, half inch, chopping on the tape, pulled the tape down into the print and just printed the last like 50 shirts that way. But so I was walking by the press and I was like, oh shit. And I saw that. And so we went and grabbed the shirts out of the box and it was the highlight white. And we lucked out because it was just like this distressed print. And it looked fine. Like if you looked there, you could say, oh, it's not perfect, but it worked. It wasn't perfect because, you know, if you go with white ink and you go like that, it gets a little tacky. It was a little bit, it wasn't perfectly smooth, but it worked. And then, I don't know, that everybody was happy. It was a payday. We were in good moods. It was a Friday.
Great.
And then I drove home. And I had Trinity with me because she was working at the shop that day. And so we chatted on the way home. And then my kid pulls in behind me in the driveway. And then we go in and we chill and cracked a bottle of wine. It was great. Like it was a perfect day.
Awesome. I love that. I mean, that sounds like a perfect day, especially when you're a business owner and when you start your day off with a good drive-in or a good mental like space. I think that's so important because for me, I have to tell myself to stop and to give myself this moment in time to be grateful for where I'm at, or I can't recognize shit. And so actually last week, I was touring shops in Minnesota and I toured some really awesome stuff. And I was, it was a great time. And I'm sitting in a car. I'm sitting there with an owner of his distribution and he's taking me around, showing me stuff. And it was wonderful. And at the same time, I'm on the phone and I'm like, okay, the truck's there. Okay, great. Thank you. And I've got another phone call coming in. Hey, Nicole, this is going into financing right now. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And I just remember sitting there going, I think I just did like a lot in sales while sitting in your car. And now I'm in the biggest shop in America. And now I'm having dinner with that shop owner. And not only is he like not your atypical shop owner, but I ate a peanut butter pizza with him, which I probably never would do if he didn't say like, hey, in life.
Stop. Wait, peanut butter pizza.
Dude, it was so fucking good. So good. Like I'm willing to like open a pizza, like a pizzeria on this thing right now. So it was a pizza with peanut butter as the sauce, cheese, pepperoni, and jalapeno. And of course I love mezcal. So I'm sitting there sipping mezcal. That was like the start of me being like, okay, I'll try it. But in the beginning, I was like, fuck no, that sounds disgusting. This guy looked at me and he's like, if you don't try the weird shit in life, what do you got? What do you got? And I was like, okay, fine.
He was talking about a lot more than pizza.
A whole lot more. A whole lot more. And I'm sitting in this really cool, like, towns. I don't want to call it a dive bar. It wasn't a dive. It's been around forever, but it's been around forever. So it kind of looks divey on the inside. It's got like this whole upstate lake feel that, I mean, I'm from Cali. There's nothing like that. Okay. There's no whole towns working in a shop. And this guy's walking in, the whole town saying hi to him. And they're also, a lot of them, his employees. And I'm sitting there and I'm eating and I'm like, man, I did business today. I made things happen. My kid is good with my parents right now back home. I'm FaceTiming with him. I'm on a beautiful lake. I'm with people that are treating me super respectfully. And I'm touring things that I personally never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that I would have been let into, let alone given like carte blanche.
I know this isn't everybody, but I'm the way you're talking about this right now is a lot of like the last couple of years for me where I basically have taken up time to be like, I'm just going to go travel to other states. And a lot of times it's with manufacturers or whatever that give you the opportunity to say, hey, let's go tour this shop that you normally wouldn't have the chance to, like these massive shops or these people that have kind of in your mind, you think, oh, they figured it out. Like, obviously they figured it out to a degree to have like a really successful business where they're like, oh, I have like 20 autos and I have like fucking hundreds of employees. And then you go see their systems and processes and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, to a degree, but it's stuff that you wouldn't normally just be able to walk into. It's not like I went to the city and I was like, oh, I found some hole in the wall shop that's really cool. But like, these are opportunities that you wouldn't normally have unless you had some kind of in or connection or vendor or something, you know what I mean? But just exactly like you were saying, like in my mind, I'm thinking I'm 3 hours behind and the shop's doing great and you know my emails are done, I'm checking stuff on my phone and I'm in this awesome shop getting to see all this really rad shit. And then after, again, like you said, like usually we go to dinner and then it's just like, oh cool, I'm in like Utah and it's like it's beautiful here and like all this other stuff. So I suggest to anybody, exactly like Nicole just described and like I'm describing, like fucking just go somewhere, visit other shops. 99% of them are open to say, yeah, come hang out and visit. Like, don't do that to the ones local to you within like 100 miles. Well, they're not always nice. But like travel, like if you go on vacation to, you know, Florida or California or whatever, just find out what shops are nearby and go in and hang out is like one of my favorite things ever is to visit other places.
So agreed. I learn something new every single time. And I'm so appreciative, whether it's a one auto shop, whether it's a manual shop. I'm like, dude, keep killing it. You're going to get there, you know? And like, I'm impressed with people, you know, the hardest thing, the hardest variable in everybody's production is people. And yet they're the things that keep everything running. And when you walk in and people are compassionate and kind, it's like, wow, like, look at what you built. Like I'm floored. And sometimes it's not necessarily flooring to somebody else, but you're just like, wow, this is so cool. And I'm grateful to have these opportunities. And like if I travel, I try and reach out to shops. I want to transverse the industry in terms of manufacturers. I'm not trying to put my, you know, like link myself to only one. I'm really trying to be a resource and make sure Embellishr is a resource for everyone so they can come and they can figure out what they really need for their business, because this is your business.
I think I was going to, just right before you go, Dylan, I was going to say that I think one of the most important things that you can do as a shop owner or a leader is networking, you know, because, and as awful as it sounds sometimes, it's sort of like when, you know, Joanne's like, oh, you know, we're going to make these plans a month from now. We're going to go do that thing. And you're like, okay. And then that day rolls around and you're like, oh man, like I don't want to go. I just want to go home, lay down on the couch, but then you go and it's good. And you're glad you did. And I've also gotten on planes before going to this thing or an event that I was like, I just want to not do this. But then when I just want to get off. Yeah. Right. But then you get there and you're like, I'm so glad we came. Like, I'm just so glad we did this. And, mostly it's because of the networking and the meeting of people and not just, touring a shop, but just meeting other shops and meeting other people because you learn so much. And also your Venn diagrams are overlapping a lot in this industry. You have so much in common with people and it's just a really good thing to do. So I 1,000% agree.
What made you go from all the experiences and everything that you had to decide I want to start Embellishr?
So I dissolved my partnership of Blue Frog in 2020. And I know a lot of people at that point around, I would say the West Coast, were kind of interested in the idea or thought that I was going to open my own shop and I was going to come in guns blazing. Some people really scared that I was going to come in and be a big shop. I had no interest in it anymore. I was so friggin' burnt out after COVID and all the employees and things. And I don't blame that on anybody. It was just something where I had a 2-year-old at home and that was really challenging to get through. When I got offered for my buyout, I took it. And I went into a deep depression, to be honest with you, for a while, because it felt like I didn't know how I was going to come back to the industry and if I should come back to the industry. And so I actually decided to sink this gaping hole of emotions I had into getting my real estate license. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people will do that, but in Nevada, there wasn't a whole ton of people doing it. And there was a ton of building going on in 2020. Like, I mean, astronomical mass exodus from California moving to Nevada. So I ended up kind of taking advantage of that and learning the ropes of brokering there. And then I found myself with all my tattoos and feeling a little out of place at Toll Brothers, which Toll Brothers was great. I mean, they're America's luxury home builder. It was my first actual real corporate T job. And middle of summer in Reno, and they're like, you need to put on long sleeve shirts, long sleeves with you, you're cute, but long sleeves. And I just remember being like, man, I need to go back. I want my hands in a vat of ink. I love feeling the viscosity. I miss liquid gold. Like, I had weird thoughts, like, that's weird. Right. And so I ended up getting a role with Rock, and Rock, was great. I became the channel manager there and I managed their distribution channel. So all of their distributors. So I learned a lot right there. But I want to say that between Rock and real estate is where I kind of combined to become Embellishr. I learned how to broker things appropriately, how to have escrow accounts where I can hold people's money and I can give your money back if I need to. And I also, with Rock, I felt a little held back, to be honest with you. And they know that. And it wasn't any fault of their own. I am an Aquarius. I'm a tiger of a person. And I will, I just want to keep going. I have to climb the top of your company or I'll be at the top of my company. And that's kind of my personality. And so it just kind of came to a head. And some client of mine actually that had purchased like a whole brand new auto at Rock had called me. And I remember I was standing in Texas at Print Hustlers. That's where all this started. Called me and said, hey, Nicole, like, we are cowboys. We don't know one damn thing about screen printing. We've tried to dick around with this for the last 6 months. I can't keep losing money. I want to sell it all. It's all brand new equipment. So I was like, okay. And I went to Rock, and Rock, honestly, like, they can't necessarily handle that. They're handling the new side, but taking in somebody's old equipment, refurbishing, marketing, all of it, that costs a lot of money to do. And so I said I would try.
You wanted the challenge.
I'll try and sell it for you. Yeah. I'm definitely a challenge for it. If you give me a challenge, trust me, I'm going to take it. And so, which is why I have West Side tatted on me. I have some weird stuff tattooed on me because I've lost some things too. So, so I took the challenge and I sold his equipment in like the matter of a couple weeks. And I was
got the bug.
That was good. That was easy. And I could do this. And then another one came at me. And the whole time I worked at Rock, they would tell people, that they could go to a third party broker or they could post on the classifieds. And so I found like there was this void because there's no third party broker for it. And I know Rock and I know M&Rs really well. I know both of those. So that's kind of where I gave them my notice, and December, I think 4th is where I just kind of took off from there last year.
That's awesome. Now, talking about the classifieds thing, last question from me. I know you're thinking of doing something new or trying to put it like build something. Can you talk about that a little bit, or do you want to talk about that a little bit? I'll
talk about it a little bit. But we are coming to Printing United, and we will have our first trade show booth there, and we will be launching some stuff, exciting stuff, I think, there. But yeah, essentially, the used market space has been kind of the old boys club, for lack of a better term, for a long time.
Yeah.
And is also very archaic. As we know, there's Digismith out there. It needs an uplift. Everything needs to come into, like you guys said on your post, the 21st century. And
I feel like Digismith is the same as it was when 15 years ago. It's like
never changed.
Yeah.
No, they don't change it.
It looks like Windows 98-ish.
It's totally Windows 98-ish. It's like it's just terrible. It's almost like an 8-bit. Like, it's weird. And you know, what's funny is like, it's a platform that a lot of people go to, but not a whole lot of people sell on, which is also interesting. So long story short, my husband is a software engineer. He used to be a video game programmer at Disney, and he's programmed a ton of Xbox, PS3 games, then kind of moved into the crypto tech world, and which recently has been just so fun in the tech side. So instead of him continuing on with his job there, he is now a co-owner of Embellishr, and he is eventually, you know, when we grow, he is the CTO. And he's building out software where, you know, our clients will have a portal to log in. The portal is going to be something that gives you access to upload your pictures, your videos, get an appraisal through the portal so you can see what you would want to market your own stuff at. Or you can choose to use our services that kind of take care of and concierge the rest of it. So we're really trying to be a more visual, forward-facing company. And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of quickly realizing I'm more of a marketing, sales, tech company than anything else.
Right.
And so, our goal is to give everybody a space to use. We're going to start with a unit of one. I think that's the smartest thing to do sometimes in business, because I think there's a lot of grand ideas. But in order to have the concept really fleshed all the way through, the unit of one is screen. So screen printing stuff. Then we'll move to embroidery, DTF, DTG, all of those kind of things. So
nice.
That's what we're doing.
Well, that's awesome. That's exciting. So
Thanks.
Before we get to over-unders, you made me a believer in if I had something to sell, I would hit you up. So
good.
If people wanted to sell something or get a hold of you or potentially even buy something, where do they go and how do they get a hold of you?
They can go to embellishr.com. I have currently, it's not where it's going to be shortly by Printing United, but it is our website right now. And there is a pre-owned market space on there that you should be able to see anything that we are currently representing. I do put all the specs on there, diameter, CFM, electrical, so somebody can get what they need to go verify even before contacting us that they're really interested in buying. So embellishr.com. On Instagram, I am at Embellishr.
And it is not spelled the same way.
No, I want to be unique and different. No, the other one was taken, so I did this way. So, you know, EMBELLISHR.com, or same thing for our Instagram handle. You can find me on Instagram too, Nikki, NIKKIEMB. And, you know, anyone can email me on my website. I have my emails there, my phone numbers, you can contact. But yeah, that's where you can reach me.
And the Embellishr Instagram is actually really great too. Like, you have pretty good content on there. It's not just like buy this. It's,
I don't want it to be just buy this. I mean, I I'm not a marketer. I'm learning as I go, and I'm kind of realizing that people like to see things moving. You know, the Print Girl Mafia went to Ballet Canvas last week and did this whole, or 2 weeks ago, and did this whole tour. That tour was freaking phenomenal. Like, the industry should be able to see this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah,
and so I want to be able to be a little bit more of a resource, which is also why I write for Screen Print Magazine. And, you know, trying to get out there with kind of stuff that I did for my shop that worked. I don't know if it'll work for yours or everybody's, but, you know, if I can help in any way, I try to be a trusted advisor, like just internally, organically as a person.
Okay, we got some listener questions. Scott at King Screen says, what has been your biggest win and your biggest disaster in shifting to equipment resale?
My biggest disaster was that shipment showing up not perfect, and fighting and still fighting. And, you know, that's been my biggest disaster in this one. I've learned a lot, but it doesn't take away that it hurts to have that happen to your reputation. My biggest win, I never thought I'd be talking to you guys. So, I mean, that's a big win right there.
I think your biggest win, your biggest win from what I heard is that those cowboys wanting to sell their equipment.
Yeah. I mean, I like some cowboys for sure.
And
but
it launched your whole thing.
Yeah.
It did.
True.
It launched my whole thing. And so I am grateful. He actually has his own Netflix show. If you've ever seen Dale Brisby, he's a hoot, and follow him. He's pretty cool. But yeah, that's probably my biggest win.
Awesome. Jared at Parkway says, what do you miss about owning a shop and being on the production side of the industry?
Again, I miss ink because I'm a freaking weirdo like that. Can't explain it.
You got like a weird kink where you gotta smell plastic.
I do. It kind of it's kind of weird. Like, if you know me, you know I've shopped. Like, trust me.
So you gotta turn that into a perfume.
What's wrong with you? Okay. That's interesting. Maybe I will.
She goes bankrupt.
So I miss. Nobody buys my plastisol.
She's just going around to shows. Smell this. Smell this. Smell this.
It's PVC free. What do I miss about a shop? To be honest with you, I loved hearing the choppers. I loved it. There was something about hearing the hustle bustle of the warehouse every day. The trucks backing in, just all of that. That is something I can say I truly miss. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I will get a warehouse again. Maybe I will have dock doors to roll up, just in a different way. What I don't miss is... You
need it for a white noise machine when you go to bed. You need to just go into the shop and record it.
I was going to say,
when you go to bed, you're like
ASMR.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like weird. I like it.
All right. I'll text you some sounds.
Oh, please text me some sounds. That sounds really nice, actually. I don't like bubbling brooks and rivers. I want that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then what I don't miss, I had a really contentious partnership. I don't miss that. I don't miss fighting. And I don't mean like verbally. I just mean like I've had to fight tooth and nail to get to where I am today. And with my ex-partner or with larger manufacturers, I've had to fight to be who I am today. And so I don't miss that kind of stuff from, I should say shop wise. Yeah, I don't miss that. And I don't miss being late on an order.
Yeah, but you're an Aquarius, you're a tiger. And so maybe it's just sort of innate. And also I think the fighting, because I've been there too, fighting for survival, it makes you into who you are now, and also gives you that gratitude when you're on a walk and you look at the sunset, right, Dylan? You're like, oh, hey, this ain't so bad. But I also hear you. And when you're in the day-to-day, in the trenches, like that takes a toll. Eventually that takes a toll year after year after year after year. And you're like, wait a second, maybe I should be doing something else with my day eventually, than being in these trenches, So I get it.
Yeah. I have some great opportunities that people are throwing my way even currently that I'm struggling with the idea of even looking at, to be honest with you, because I think I don't want to put myself in any way where I can get pigeonholed again. And I've been pigeonholed before. And so, you know, in terms of running a shop and my personality, I started pigeonholing myself, and I've seen so much more since I've started traveling and been invited into other people's areas and their shops. And that is truly, to me, way more satisfying than anything that I've done. But I've done it, and I'm proud of what I've done. So
yeah. From just hearing like a short version of your story, though, it does seem like every part of your journey so far has been a pivotal moment into where you are now, though. You know what I mean? Like doing the small boutique to the larger shop, working with the porn star, to the larger shop, to the real estate thing, which opened your eyes to how you could move money and help people with things that, again, like I didn't realize that much went into it when you were selling equipment, of, like you said, like holding people's money in escrow, like all this stuff seems like it led you to the perfect spot now where you know enough or more than most about printing and shop running and whatnot to be like, you actually need this piece of equipment, or this is what this piece of equipment is used for and worth and everything else. So I feel like all that stuff led to you to where you are now, though. It doesn't seem like you've just been like fighting things and losing and whatever. I feel like you've been kind of fighting and winning, and you're where you are now.
Thanks. Yeah, no.
Sounds weird to you, but
no, it doesn't sound weird. My grandma used to call me a warrior, and I very much, I don't know what she meant by that, but I do kind of resonate with it at the same time. And it is weird. I've had some really cool, what's that?
I don't know.
The troop that was here.
Oh, it's the Girl Scout stuff. Oh,
it's got Girl Scout blood all over it from when she fucking burst in the dryer.
Will not be selling that dryer for you. But yeah, no, like, I mean, I think it's just been, it's been a ride, and I've had a journey, and I have had pivotal moments, and what works, I improve upon. What doesn't work, I bounce from. And yeah.
Awesome. Joanne, our very own Joanne, says, what's your favorite restaurant and what do you order?
Oh, girl, this is a good one. This is the best question I've been asked. Okay. This is so hard for me, Joanne. Like,
boneless wings at Applebee's.
No. I'm like going in my head, like, okay, yes, it's tacos, but which taco one? Okay. So, here in Reno, which is up and coming, you know, I want to give it some lifting. It's not like the old casino town that people think it is. There is a farm to taco restaurant here that is phenomenal, called Estella. And they have a great mezcal bar that they do mezcal flights with like little accoutrements and stuff that are all pickled. Love the pickled stuff, but particularly love the tacos, and I love cheese. So there's also Jim Boy's Tacos, which just drenches their tacos in Parmesan cheese, and I can't get enough of that one. Yeah, those are my favorite restaurants, I would say. There's probably a million of them, but yeah, that's where I
Number
go.
3.
Although, yeah.
Number 3 is Taco Bell.
So Double Decker Supreme. Yes. I lived off that shit at 4th grade. Loved. But then they got rid of it. So there's nothing I like at Taco Bell anymore. I was a diehard for that one. Yeah. I mean, no, we have a garden out back, and we grow a lot of our own food at this point. And so, you know, we're making like salads, and we're about to get chickens. So I
was going to say, so here you have to get a permit for chickens, and Lauren, who works here, just got hers, and she has them, but they haven't laid any eggs yet.
Oh,
but I guess it takes
you gotta
like a little bit.
She got all roosters. Yeah.
Well, she said, like, look, if they don't start producing eggs here in the next few weeks, we're going to slaughter them and eat them. That's it. We'll just make chicken.
Yeah.
Like chicken salad.
Just slaughter and eat. Yeah. I mean, chicken salad. Exactly. Chicken salad sandwiches, just chicken.
Right.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, we've got snap peas, tomatoes, eggplants, kale, arugula. I've got freaking onions, garlic, like anything I need growing right now. All for tacos. Everything is for a taco. Yeah.
Last one. Palm Print says, what's the perfect configuration of a first press when coming from a manual?
Oh, Tony. Okay. What's the perfect configuration? Okay. If you're going to ask me, I
want to answer this one too. So
I do too.
You go first though.
Yeah.
Okay. My perfect configuration, but this isn't what I did, but my perfect configuration is an 810. An 810 is going to give that manual printer the kind of flexibility that they need to jump up to 6 colors on darks, right? You can go bigger, but a lot of times the bigger is just going to be way more expensive. So jumping from manual to auto is already a pretty big jump in terms of finances. And I know when you're on a manual, you're usually on a 4 or 6 color, hardly ever they're 8 colors. But I would recommend at least an 8 color. I did 6 at first and I choked myself right away. So I wouldn't do it that way, personally speaking, but plenty of people do. And I don't hate on it at all. Like if you want to get a 4 color 8 station because you can operate faster than what you were doing manually, and that's okay for you and your clientele, then that's what is right for you and your clientele. But if you're just asking like a generalization, I'm going to say an 810, 2 flashes.
Dylan, what's yours?
You want me to go?
Yep.
I think the best decision I made, and to compliment Nicole, was the 810 Sportsman was the first auto that we got. And I loved it. Most of the clients that we had, we could do almost every job as a 6 color. So it worked out. But now knowing what I know, if you were a manual printer by yourself, not a bunch of employees, I think, which is the question, is like going from manual to auto. In my mind, when he asked this question, was just kind of like, I'm a single dude in a garage and I want to get an auto, but that might not be the case. But I would almost say the Anatol Volt with the extra print head, because you have no compressor.
The 910.
Yeah, so you have no compressor. And you have that unload station, which you could put down and print on. Because if you're just loading and unloading by yourself, then you've got an extra print head. So then my question tweaks though. It tweaks though, because I would say if you grew out of that, then I would get a G3.
So
yeah.
No, not for your first press. I mean, not for your first.
Not
press.
for your first press.
So
no,
I wouldn't say G3 for your first press.
But that's the question. And so
that's why I said the Volt. I think either the 810 or the Volt.
A U, a Volt, a Sportsman, maybe a Diamondback. Those are your kind of from manual to auto. If you're trying to like just go balls to the wall and you're going to sell the shit out of retail all of a sudden, you got people that'll go for 10, 12,
Yeah. No, 10, I'm 14, saying my answer is if you're going from a manual in a garage to an auto, I would say a Volt because of the no compressor, all electric and extra head.
Okay.
So
I've never used one. I just think it's cool. I think it's got cool features.
I do like the idea of that, but I'm assuming that you're not in a garage, that you have a space and this will be your only auto. And that's what's crucial here, because when it's your only auto and you want to grow with that for the next few years and you don't want to turn away work and you don't want to spin 4 times, what's very important is you have a minimum of 2 flashes. We have 3 flashes on most of our presses, but 2 minimum. And I would say that the minimum color would be 10 color, because on a 10 color press, you can put in 2 flashes and you can print 3 color dry and you can go haul ass, like super fast. And I think that, you can also print, you get better at figuring out. We used to print like 8 color on it, printing after flashes and stuff, and that was fine. But I say 10 color minimum. I say skip the Diamondback, go to a Sportsman if you're talking M&R. My first press, I got cheap and I skipped the airlocks for squeegee flood airlocks, which was moronic. So get like some of the bells and whistles, because it makes you go faster. And that's the key, is that, you're small.
Okay.
No, hold on. And I think you're small and you need automation within your press. You need to do fancy things. And you need to be able to go fast because it's your only press. You know, you can only produce as much as it can produce. You don't have the option of, oh, we got other presses over there. Sure, throw that shit on there. It's your only press, and don't limit yourself. Go to a 10. 2 flashes.
I love a 10. And I think a 10 is where it's at when you want to get up to 8 colors. And I think most of the manual printers would like to expand their, services to their clients. That being said, if you're at a 10, the diameter of that space-wise is pretty fucking hefty. On top of that, you're looking at you're close to $100,000 new,
Exactly.
If you can find a good 10 on the used
How much is that going to make you? How much is that going to make you?
But see, this is where we're going to start arguing is because
let's argue.
We're
it's
different.
It's going to make you.
We're different people.
Finance that shit.
How to utilize
exactly.
And
finance.
I knew you'd say it.
A lot of the manual printers have not been in business for 2 years yet. They have not established enough credit to finance that dollar amount.
Exactly.
I've dealt with a ton, trust me, on the sales side, I've dealt with a ton of converting from manual to auto. And so it tends to be a price point thing. And then it tends to go on to space. I want this, but I can only do this and I can only afford that or whatever.
But that's why I'm saying the Volt is because it takes up less space. You can run it with one person. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and you have more room because you don't have to worry about a compressor. You don't have a compressor in the corner fucking all day long. Like, that's why I'm saying, I'm not saying
a rotary screw. They won't be on.
I'm saying, if your dad's giving you fucking your trust fund money and you can go buy a 10 color with 2 flashes and spend over $100K.
Or go to the used side. Don't go for a new Volt. Here's what I would say.
There it is. There's the Embellishr pitch.
Boom. No, here's what I'm going to tell everybody though. I would stay away from, if you're going to buy something new, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying a lift and lower carousel anymore. Those bearings are going to wear down on you. You're going to end up spending more money doing and dicking around with that than you were if you just went for the actual efficiency of a level playing field, which M&R makes, Rock makes, MHM makes. Like, you have your top 3 that are making those, and then you have your other brands that are making something that's a little bit more budget friendly. Budget friendly is a good thing, you guys, to get to the next stepping stone of efficiency.
Which is why I said Volt to G3. Yeah. Okay. I mean, save your money.
G3, Cobra, Sportsman, Diamondbacks, older. I wanted to throw our Diamondback
don't
on
buy
the
a
dog.
gauntlet.
I hated that thing.
Don't buy a gauntlet. Not if it's your like only press.
I had 2 gauntlet 3s, and I loved those things. Honestly, those and the Challenger 3s I really, really did like. But our lifts and lowers, they just operated slower. They don't initiate things as fast as other presses do. And so if you're sinking a ton of money into something and thinking you're saving, in the end, you're going to spend that $5,000 to $10,000 more that you could have had a compressor, could have had a press that had, the bells and whistles, potentially a really good warranty, things like that to look out for. That's the kind of stuff that I would say. I don't want to hate on any Anatol shops or workhorse shops. I think everybody has their space. I'm just simply saying, like, if you've got some money put to the side and you're looking at what should I do, look at the functionality of the equipment first and then see what's on the used market side. Like, seriously, don't freaking go spend $150,000 on your first thing. Learn it.
So the answer to this question is just go to the Embellishr website and see what's available before you make your decision.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But also I agree with avoid spinning more times than necessary because, this is your only press. And when you move from a manual to an auto, you're in a manufacturing production environment. And it's all about going faster and figuring out ways to go faster because as you scale, so do your costs. And when you stand there waiting on your press to spin extra times, that is a super waste, and that's bad. And so go 10 color, get your 2 flashes, squeeze it in your shop. I'm so glad I left this question. Squeeze it in your shop if you have to, knock down walls, whatever it takes, 10 color minimum.
I've already knocked down walls with people. So do it.
All right. Over unders.
Over under. So how this works, we say something. I have 9 things. You say if it's underrated, overrated, properly rated. And I had on here something and I altered it because of what you said. So the first thing is peanut butter pizza.
Like underrated, mega underrated.
I had originally.
Is it crunchy peanut butter?
No, it's smooth peanut butter and it's warm and it is fucking good. I'm going to make one. I like seriously need to figure this out. It's a restaurant called Zorba's and they have a bunch of them in the Minnesota area. So if you're ever there, highly recommend getting it's called the Lucid pizza, the Lusher, something weird like that. I don't know.
I love peanut butter, so sounds great. Number 2.
Yes.
Fall.
Oh, highly underrated. I love fall.
Agree. Yes. Fall's the best.
Yeah. Fall's great.
By far.
Where is it fall all year? Is there fall all year somewhere?
Isn't that like Maine?
Fall here for quite a long time.
I'm moving to Maine. So if anybody...
Jeans and hoodie season.
Oh, flannel. That's my season.
Yes.
That's 100%. My jam.
Pumpkins and apple cider. It's the best.
Moonshine. Yeah.
Next, we have QR codes.
I feel like they were really overrated in the beginning when they came out because I feel like they were used on everything. But I do like them now more for manufacturing, just for the ease of use. I think that they're cool in different aspects. So I'm kind of neutral. I just think that at one point they were just kind of fucking everywhere. So yeah. Right. That's what I said.
I want to explain the beauty of a QR code very briefly here. Joanne, as I described or explained earlier in the show, she hung her current collection yesterday and today. And what we made was when you hang, you have to put the title of the work, her name, title of the work, and the price. But also off to the side, we have a QR code. So when you're there, all you do is hold your phone up to it, boom, takes it to her website, and you can buy it. Doesn't have to be there. Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
I love it.
That's the power of marketing and tech. So yeah, I like it for on the equipment side. I like it for servicing your equipment. So I'm seeing a lot of manufacturers that are implementing QR codes on their equipment that's going out. And for ease of, maintenance, or if you need to troubleshoot and get a hold of their tech team or whatever. And I think most of them are starting to do that with their equipment. And I find that to be a great move because you don't know who you have in your shop and their capabilities, but anyone can open their phone and do a QR code real quick and watch a video or whatever.
I'm with you on that. That's great. And it doesn't have to be a complicated video, just a video holding your iPhone. Here's how you service this thing.
Yeah. Here's how you clean the lens on that. Yeah.
Next, we have pressure washers.
Pressure washers. They're like...
properly rated.
Yeah, that's properly rated, I would say, I think. Most shops should or have a pressure washer. If you don't you have a pressure washer. Let's be real. All of you have a pressure washer. Yeah.
Well, there are some pressure washers that are overkill and some pressure wash. Like I was that guy who bought the $99 one for forever. Every 3 months, you go buy a fucking new $99 one.
Home Depot,
and then at one point I was like, I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of changing these out. I'm going to go buy an expensive, like $1,500 pressure washer.
Did the same thing.
And then it lasted. It lasted a little bit longer. But then I was when I got done with that thing, I was like, fuck it. I went back to the $99 pressure washer and then
the Ryobis at Home Depot.
Right.
Great.
So we started, I opened up we have several here at the shop. I grabbed one a week ago or so and I started, we moved some things and I wanted to, pressure wash the floor right there and the wall actually, because there was ink on the wall. So I was like, and then that turned into pressure washing down the whole way. And I didn't even know where to stop at some point. I just kept going. And then Kyle's like, hey, why don't you should grab that like circular attachment for Ryobi. They have one down at this Home Depot. So I went down there, grabbed it and stuck it on the handle. I took out the other part and then stuck it on this thing. And it just like actually rotates and pressure washes underneath your press, like without splattering anything. And
that's way better than throwing paint thinner down and trying to scrape it.
Long story short, Andy's shop is flooded right now because
we're still mopping it all up. Okay. But I think they're
really like pressure washers.
I love me a pressure washer. Next, we have protein shakes.
I don't know.
I don't drink them. I drank those after I had my kid. and I think they were great. I was able to get back in shape. But I feel like if I were to drink it now and not know the proper way to do it, I'm just going to bulk up like I'm like He Woman. So I'm here on that.
I don't know. I've never had one. I know there's like protein added into that Kachava thing that I drink, but like I've never been like just like, oh, I'm fucking gonna take a bunch of protein.
You guys ever tried these Focus Aids?
No.
They're like yerba mate. They're all like vegan, natural, 100% clean, MG caffeine. They're actually really good. I feel, and they've got lots of vitamins. I have had my vitamins today, actually. Thank you.
Half vodka.
Yeah. No, I'm not drinking during the week. I'm trying to establish a new routine because I tend to be like, is it 5 o'clock? I'm going to crack a beer, and it's like 2 o'clock and I'm cracking a beer in the office and still working. But like all of a sudden I've had a couple too many beers by like 8 p.m. when I leave the container. So yeah.
5 o'clock somewhere.
So if you have a membership at Costco or Sam's Club or something like that, or you can even go to Walmart, Costco has a whole aisle of pre-made protein shakes. I'm not talking about the ones we do that at home too, but normally I don't have the time. And so I buy these pre-made protein shakes, 30 grams protein and 1 gram of sugar. You're on the go, you drink it, and it's a beautiful breakfast. Because I asked people what they have for breakfast here. I asked somebody earlier today what she had for breakfast, and she told me marshmallows.
My son would love her.
Answer. I know. And so anyway, that's a terrible breakfast. And if she would have had marshmallows, maybe, and a protein shake, that's better. So protein shakes are underrated. Next, I have double-sided palette tape.
I just printed with that shit last week, and I mean I printed with it before. Hold on, I have to let my dog out. She's dying. Get out of here. Go. I printed with it. It's really tacky. It's almost like
actually tacky, or like that's tacky.
Like it's both. No. I think it has its place. I think you can use it for certain things. I think if you're using a super lightweight cotton or fabric, I think it makes it hard. And all of a sudden you're not actually like slowing the press down to kind of nail out your creases, or you don't have a roller or an iron to do so. You can iron that thing actually and just kind of like screw yourself and misprint all over it. So I am up in the air on that. Again, I haven't properly printed in Ruka, the stupid, she's just barking now. I haven't like printed for myself in years. So when I printed on press last week, I just felt like super like giddy. Like I didn't care what they gave me, and it was double-sided tape. I was like, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool for live printing.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a flash or anything to like dry it. It's nice to just put it on and then peel it off.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer, so I don't know. That's why one of the reasons why I asked, because I really don't have experience with it, but I hear a lot about it these days and that it's good, but I don't know.
We'll do some tests.
Yeah.
You'll have to test.
Next, we have Chuck Taylor's.
Fucking love. What's there not to love?
I like the look of a Chuck Taylor, but I hate tying shoes.
I like shoes. I'm a shoe girl. I went to all girls Catholic school. And so I had to wear a uniform every day. And the only way that I could be me and show my flair was through my Adidas. So I had different shell tops, every single color. I was like laced up. And so I am a shoe person. So whether it's Vans, Converse, Nikes, like I'm down.
I've been Vans for forever. And most of the time it's because I wore slip-ons like all through high school, and then for a long time after that. And then I think I got
like fatter
slip-ons. I think I got fatter feet, and then I switched to the lace ones. But I usually leave them laced loose enough where I don't bend over to put my shoes on. I just fucking slide.
So I don't lace anything. Nothing is laced. It has the appearance of laces, but I don't lace anything.
Yeah, but that's why I feel like the canvasy side of like a Chuck Taylor or something like that is like you have to literally like unlace, loosen it up, bend over, put your fucking
on a high top, but like on the lows, no. and maybe a mid, no. But on the high tops, I hear what you're saying, because you can never get those on without lacing them. But I think you could get away with it on the lows. Empathy.
I think it's underrated.
Underrated. We're all good people.
We agree on it. Something.
Yeah. Great.
But like we're a good group of people right here. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that one at all.
Last, we're back to kind of almost the shoe thing. A good pair of socks.
A good pair.
So before you answer, this is my reasoning, is it because it's the second thing I put on in the morning. I go underwear, then I go socks, and it makes part of my day.
First of all, it's way more fun to put your socks on first, because you're just fucking swinging all over the place.
Okay, first of all, I don't have anything to swing, but my socks go on last. Like,
why?
I rock sandals. I just rock sandals until I actually have to leave the home, and then I throw socks on. But I like funky socks. So if they have like avocados on them or cactuses or pancakes, that's my sock.
Hold on. Do your order, Andy. So your underwear, socks, t-shirt, jeans.
Underwear.
I Pooh Bear it for a while. Like I put a t-shirt on and just nothing else. Like I'll walk around the house and do dishes and shit. Like just straight Pooh Bear.
So Dylan, your kids are like traumatized.
I love getting to know you like this.
Just airing things out. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're all friends.
It's cool.
We have empathy.
I don't know. So socks are important. I wear them here at the shop because, I don't like sandals at the shop. I'm here for comfort. I got to stand all day. And so, a good pair of socks.
I do believe in a strong, thin pair of ankle socks. Like I want to have socks on so I don't put just bare feet into my sneakers, but they have to breathe. Like I will sweat through like a cotton.
They have to breathe. I hate polyester socks. I hate these like new dye sub socks that everyone's trying to sell in like your local mountain stores and stuff that are just like you put them on and your fucking foot feels like it's going to fall off from just needing air. Those are not my socks, but I'm a big fan of socks when it's middle of winter. Gotta rock some socks.
Socks are great.
So.
I'm on the Bombas kick right now. BOMBAS. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, those are good.
Nicole, cheers to many more perfect days.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dylan, also same to you. I hope you have a lot of those perfect days. I don't know. We deserve them because we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I think.
You definitely deserve them. I think everybody's deserving of a perfect day. Whatever that day is to you, just sometimes, like I said, you got to take a step back and sit in your jumbo jet and look over your whole life and go, doing pretty okay. Doing okay.
Nicole, we appreciate you having you on. You're great. I like seeing all the things that you guys are doing. If I need to sell anything, I will call you first.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And if I need to buy anything, I'll hit you up first, unless it's something.
Yeah, hit me up. All brands.
But we appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day.
Appreciate you guys too. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me. Have a good one.
Later. See ya.